Hey everybody, it's Riding Sidesaddle.
Hello.
It's Lisa and Tammy, and Lisa is sick.
Can you tell? Slight, small amounts of sick.
Yeah, she's got a good head cold, so if she's a little bit quiet, that might be why. So,
Yes.
clearly she's going to be quiet.
Yes.
So we're back with season 3.
Here we are,
Yeah.
right at the very beginning.
At the beginning.
It's really very wonderful. Like in my wildest dreams.
I know.
Right, right when we first started this, I didn't plan out in my head, 3 seasons.
No.
In the first year. That's awesome.
Right. I don't think we got that far when we started. We were just like, well, we'll just start recording.
See what happens.
We didn't have seasons planned.
Right.
So this weekend we did spend the whole weekend. We went away and had a really fun cousins weekend and riding Sidesaddle work weekend, and we planned out most of season 3.
Yeah.
And we've got some fun things happening. Season 2 got kind of heavy, so we're trying to back that up a little bit and lighten it up a little.
Good, but heavy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. We don't want this to be too serious so that people are like, oh, yeah, that's something I would listen to if only I were not in a terrible place.
I'm not in this mental place to even crack that can of worms open.
Right.
And sometimes, honestly, I felt that way even about the topics myself.
Right.
Like what we were talking through, I was like, ugh. Like, I'm going to have to come back to that personally.
Yeah. There are plenty of things we've talked about in the last 2 seasons where I'm like, yeah, so that's something I need to work on.
Yeah.
And maybe I've touched on it a little bit and maybe I've completely ignored it. But anyway, we're wanting to not be so heavy all of the time.
Just balance.
Yeah, for sure. So we had a really excellent book last season.
We did.
Jen Sincero, man, she got right up in there.
In your biz.
Yeah, for sure. So this season we are going to do another book at the end of the season, but it won't be quite as heavy.
Yeah.
The book we've chosen, and I'm not prepared to announce it just yet because I don't remember who the author is and I don't have it in front of me. But as I recall, I listened to it some time ago. It is more informational. It was just very interesting to me. It's not so much like, so let's put a microscope on all your issues and dig them out.
Yeah. Let's open that can opener to your soul.
Right. I don't think this is a can opener kind of book. So it might not be a 4-season or 4-episode book. It might really just be one.
Which is okay.
It
too.
is.
Yeah.
So,
But good and interesting.
absolutely.
You've already
I think it
pre-read
is interesting.
and
Yeah.
kind of, from at a very high level.
Yeah.
How do you get to where you are?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Without it being so deep. It really is more, I guess, scientific, I would say.
Yeah.
Less about let's dig in and,
Soul search.
Yeah. So not so much like that.
Nice.
Yeah. We've got some more Enneagram stuff coming up. We have Pam coming up with perimenopause things and birth control and lots of...
Yeah, we're going to check back in with our own daughters too.
Yeah.
With some postpartum conversations as they're continuing to navigate through their motherhood journey.
Right.
And that's super exciting and
Yeah,
fun.
it is.
And it makes both of us beam when we talk about that because, we're Nana and Gigi and talking about our grandbabies.
Are so fun. How
that's
can you
a big
not?
deal.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's on tap so far in season 3.
Yeah.
It's always subject to change. We do sometimes move things around a little bit, but for right now, that's what we've got.
Yeah.
So
It'll be fun.
For sure. So at the end of season 2, it was my birthday.
Sure was.
Yeah, 52. Yeah.
Pause.
Take that in.
Deep breath.
Yeah. And this is something that I've known about myself for a long time. I don't like gifts.
No, you don't.
And I don't like attention.
We fight
despite
about
the
it.
fact that I'm doing a podcast. I don't really like to be center of attention.
Yeah, we fight about gifts.
We do.
On occasion.
We do. In fact, I have a pretty long-standing rule that I just don't give me a gift. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Some people just do it anyway because it brings them joy and they don't really care. This is what I'm doing. Deal with it.
And that's me.
That is you. And what I've come to realize is that is, there's a big, ugly, oozing wound right there that needs some healing. So when you posted for the whole world to see that it's my birthday and, say nice things about Tammy, each and every one of those comments was like receiving a gift. And while it did make me uncomfortable because, again, I don't like gifts, it also touched my heart. I don't know how else to say it other than that. It touched more than my heart, really. It's one thing when you go to a funeral and people say nice things about somebody who's passed, right? It's another when you're not dead and people are saying nice things about you and they're out there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And that chokes me up.
Yep.
Makes my chest tight, makes my throat close up. All of the things.
Deal with it, bitch. Happy birthday.
Hurts.
People love you.
Right.
Truly. And that's what that was.
It is.
People love you. And truly, like you said, what a gift to be able to know how you touch people.
Right. It is absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Well, so I'm trying to deal with it. It is not easy. In my experience, gifts come with strings.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like gifts.
Yeah.
When you are given a gift and it's used as control
and leverage
and manipulation and a way to make you, remind you that you're not enough. That's my experience with gifts. So I just don't like them. I'd rather have none than be reminded all of those things that are not true anyway.
Right.
And I realize that it really is more about the people who are giving those gifts than about me. But that has been my experience my whole life. Not from every gift, not from everyone who's given me a gift. That is not a blanket statement. But like most things in life, the negative weighs heavier than the positive, right? And so...
Well, it's a wound. So
it is a wound.
So it's a trigger. It's a trigger response for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It triggers a trauma.
It does.
For me. So I am working on that. But what I've realized is that, normally when somebody gives me a gift, I feel very anxious. My stomach hurts, my chest gets tight. Sometimes I get a little sweaty. But I realize that now I just feel flat. Like, this is what we're doing, just do it. I don't think that's an improvement.
It's not progress.
It doesn't feel as bad to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So initially I was like, oh, maybe that's good because I don't feel bad. And then I realized I don't actually feel much of anything.
Yeah.
I'm not excited to open a present. So I'm going to have to really, I don't know. Right now I'm just observing that. I don't know what I'm doing beyond that, but right now that's just an observation. So, there's that. So thanks for the gift, Lisa.
You're welcome. Well, and it kind of led into another little minor thing because Scott and I wanted to take you guys out to dinner.
Yeah.
And it was your birthday weekend, and we had talked back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
I tried to do a little bit of influencing as I make a twist movement with my hand.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, when Tammy has decided already what her answer is, no matter how much quote unquote influencing we're going to do, she just kind of stops. Like she doesn't respond.
I just stop engaging. Yeah.
And then I know, like, all right, it doesn't really matter what I say at this point. Mm-hmm. It's probably just a no-go. And that is in fact what happened.
It is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that gifts were a thing for you. We talked about kind of the trauma response in that relationship to gifts when I was trying to influence you. And it's still, I thought if I made it a little bit more therapeutic to be like, there's this tiny little step and nothing.
No, because it felt like, so you're not healing and now I'm going to force you to heal. As opposed to just pointing it out and letting it sit there. It was, so you're not doing your work and I'm going to make you do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel bad. That's not what I had.
Yeah, that's how it
intended
that's how it felt.
I'm sorry.
And I know that's not how you intended it. But that's when I stop engaging because now it's too much for me.
Yeah, I can understand. I didn't realize that I made you feel that way, so I apologize.
Yeah.
That wasn't my intention.
I know it wasn't.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So then she moved on to, hey, everybody, tell Tammy how great she is, which, it's like, I'm still healing. I'm still dealing with you're forcing me to look at my shit. And now everybody's being nice to me and I don't know what to do with that.
Well, there is a big difference between receiving something and just somebody saying something nice. Like we talk about ripples of kindness.
We do.
A lot.
It's a whole lot different when someone is giving it to you, though. Receiving that kindness for myself is not nearly as easy as giving it. So there's that. Long pause.
Pursed lips.
Yeah.
Shaking of head.
Yeah. So, like we have said a gajillion times, we are not any better than anybody else.
No.
We are on our own journeys. We have our own pile of crap, and we are, slogging through as best as we can. And some days are easier than others, and some issues are easier to work through than others. So this was just a little glimpse behind the curtain. We're not giving advice. We're not experts. We're sharing experiences. And this is one that came up very recently, and it clearly is a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also an opportunity then, right?
Sure.
Like it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity, like you said earlier, to observe, right? Because you knew historically that it didn't make you feel good.
Right.
But, and then that was the end, right? I don't like gifts. Don't give them to me. It doesn't make me feel good. Done. Well, that's actually not really healing it. It's like just removing the trigger is not healing the trigger
At all.
Right.
Right.
So, now you can observe and like learn and peek beneath the
Right. Maybe.
All right.
Maybe I'm just going to observe for right now.
We'll try again at 53.
We'll see.
We'll see, she says.
We'll see.
We'll see how that goes.
It's interesting as we're talking, I'm realizing that not only do I not like to receive gifts, I don't like to give gifts either.
Oh.
And it's for the same reason. But why did you give me that?
Yeah. That I can understand a little bit more. And I only say, not that you're not justified in how you feel about receiving gifts, but I too have triggers around giving gifts. So I can relate to that a bit as well.
Yeah. So when I say I don't like gifts, I don't mean just that I don't like gifts for me. I just don't like gifts. That's it.
Yeah. Interesting. So nobody's going to give nobody nothing unless they're giving it to themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
Pretty much. Yeah. So for my birthday, Josh bought himself a new grill.
Well, that's exactly what you wanted. Happy birthday, babe.
For him.
Happy birthday, babe. Look what I got me.
And he justified it by, I'm going to make you lots of good food on my new grill. Yeah. See why I don't like gifts?
Jeez, Tammy.
Do you see what I'm talking
you
about?
Have some serious triggers there. Wow.
Yeah. So.
I don't even know what to say. I'm going to be sending Josh a text message right now. Yikes.
Yeah. I don't think it really, he did not actually intend it, and he did not say it like, happy birthday to you, here's my new grill. He did not say that. It just so happened that it was on sale. He had been looking at them, and this one that he wanted, particular one he wanted was on sale. And it was on my birthday weekend.
Well, listen, Josh, perhaps you could have like brought her to a store to tell her to pick something out for herself for her birthday, and then happened to stop into the store with the grill and be like,
he needs to be more smooth about it.
Come on.
Yeah, he's not quite that smooth. He did bring me flowers, though.
Well, great.
Yeah, and yeah, it was fine. I did have a nice birthday, even though I don't like gifts. Even though I didn't let Lisa and Scott take me out for my birthday.
People just end up getting sneaky then.
Well,
you do know that, right? I mean, that when I say people, I mean me.
I know. I do know.
Okay.
I'm aware. You have given me gifts and I have received them.
Whether you liked it or not.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I think when we were starting to talk about this, we talked about gifts of many different kinds. And those gifts that, are more experiential, things that you come into by surprise, like, wow, that was like really a true gift. I wasn't expecting it. It's kind of like gifts from the universe, honestly. There's some greatness that comes along with those kind of gifts as opposed to material gifts.
For sure. So it also reminded me, as I was saying for the millionth time, I don't like gifts, that those are the words that I'm putting out to the universe, right? So when I am feeling stuck in areas of my life and, wishing someone would just give me a gift and show me the way, well, I don't like gifts. And I've told everybody who will listen over and over and over again. Yes, especially those who don't listen, Lisa. But this is what I keep putting out there. So, yeah. I mean, the universe is kind of like you. They're like, too bad we're going to keep giving you gifts. But I probably could be receiving an abundance of gifts. Not that I don't already, but really, I keep putting these roadblocks in my way.
Yeah.
I make it more and more difficult to receive things that I want because I keep saying how I don't like gifts. So I need to work on that.
Or you can just observe it.
Well, I am going to observe it first.
I'm just messing.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things when we were doing our planning session about this was the people that we've met along the way and brought in for Riding Sidesaddle truly have been gifts. Every single person that we've talked to, those are gifts.
Yes.
So when I say don't like gifts, it's not that I don't like those people. I like that kind of gift.
Right. It's we talked about this left and right and up and down. I honestly feel like we have found our people.
Yeah.
Like it is people who, I don't know, you vibe at the same
frequency.
Level. Yeah. It's,
when you're with people that you don't have to explain yourself to,
or you can feel vulnerable and have conversation without feeling that there's like judgment, or you have to put things through like the filter before it comes out of your mouth.
Because what if they say this to somebody else? Maybe they're gossipy.
Right.
We don't have people like that in our tribe.
That is a true gift.
Absolutely. Feeling safe.
That's
what it really
the
is.
Ultimate gift.
Right?
Yes.
Safe to be yourself, safe to share parts of yourself that maybe you don't share with everybody. That's a gift.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have absolutely experienced that.
I agree. So not all gifts are bad.
No.
It's not that I don't like all gifts.
Especially those that I give you.
Lisa, stop. Just stop. To be fair, most of the people that have been on Riding Sidesaddle are Lisa's connections, so I guess I'll consider those her gifts, and we'll ignore all of the others. Yeah. So when we were out and about this weekend, we had stopped for lunch. And as we were leaving this restaurant, and I don't know if this falls into a gift category.
Not for
kind
her.
of, but it kind of does, right? So again, with the ripples of kindness and things like that, there was an older lady and her mom.
Yes.
And
they were coming in as we were going out. They were
Right.
just getting out of their vehicle as we were exiting the restaurant.
right. And the mom missed the step.
Yeah.
She didn't lift her foot high enough
For the curb.
and she went down hard and hit her face on the concrete and hurt her hand and her head. And as we were leaving, there was another group of women leaving. There were 3 of them. So there were 5 women all leaving at the same time. And, you saw it actually happen. My back was turned.
Yeah, it was the play-by-play. It was slow motion watching this poor woman
Yeah.
just go down.
Yeah, total face plant
It
for
was.
real. But all 5 women stopped to offer help, and then another couple came up, and he said he is a first responder, so he was able to give some pointers. And this poor woman, she wanted to lay down. He's like, "That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
You really need to stay sitting up if you can. Let's try to support her. Put her." There was a large bag, someone's purse was pretty big, put that behind her to try to give her a little bit of support. Eventually someone brought a chair out to try to help her support a little bit while they were waiting for the ambulance. But people coming and offering, whether it was actual physical help and helping, putting napkins and bandages on her wounds, or
Calling on behalf.
calling 911,
yeah.
right? Or even just offering,
Love.
that.
Yeah.
The first responder, while he didn't get in there and get his hands gloved up or anything like that, he did say, "So these are the things that you need to do." The call first, someone's already on phone with 911. That's great. There could be some head trauma, so that's a good decision. And they'll be here soon. They're close.
Right.
So there wasn't a whole lot more he could do at that point.
Right.
But even to just give those reassuring words, like, "You're doing everything right.
Right.
Keep her here. Do this. Don't do that. And they'll be here soon. Help
Right.
will be here soon."
Right.
That's a gift too, right? For that, especially for the daughter of that mother-daughter couple. It was, while the mom was shaken because she was hurt, the daughter was shaken because her mom is on the
She
ground
was,
bleeding.
right.
And she kept saying, thank you so much. Thank you for helping. Thank you for that. Thank you. She was, those are gifts also, right?
100%. It was several people moved into action immediately.
Yeah. It was. To
Yeah.
see people helping out a perfect stranger, and I don't know who could really just walk away from that,
Right.
But
Right.
but I don't know that everybody also can see that, and not because they're big fat jerks, but because not everybody can stand the sight of blood.
Right. They are traumatized from
For them,
those types of
right,
things. too.
right. So for some people, even just talking about blood will
Yeah.
make them pass out.
Yeah.
So the fact that there were, I don't know, more than a handful of people
Yeah.
who were immediately right there
Right.
to help this poor woman and her mom
Right.
in this situation that was very traumatic for them both. That's a gift. Like, that is, the universe brought that gift, right?
Yes.
So be careful when you say you don't like gifts, because you might just need them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
So other than that, we had a lovely weekend and gave ourselves the gift of time. And we spent the better part of 4 days together. We went a little bit up north, more central Wisconsin for us anyway.
A little place by a lake.
Yeah.
Which was really wonderful.
It was beautiful. We had coffee overlooking the lake and some nice long girl chats and
Lots of laughter.
lots and lots of laughter. So
Lots of tears.
that too.
Yep.
But it was a cathartic weekend. Some healing was done, maybe not necessarily in
How we
the way Lisa
anticipated
would
it.
like it.
Right. No, it really wasn't how I would have preferred it.
But healing is healing, and it was a good weekend anyway. So that's the start of season 3, right?
It's a perfect start. Really, a perfect
It
start.
is a good start. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have to tell a story about another time when this type of thing had occurred in front of me. Going back to the elderly woman and falling. When I was working on a large project with a colleague a couple of years back for work, we were so immersed in this project that we would oftentimes meet at a coffee shop as opposed to go into work, because it was really allowed us to be very focused, as opposed to kind of have some distraction of everyday work life.
Yeah.
And we had a really harsh firm deadline that we had to meet with it. So oftentimes we would just meet at a coffee shop. And we did this for a number of weeks. On a particular day, there was a young woman who had walked into the coffee shop with her mom. And I was just people watching, right? Like, just noticing as people were coming in and out as we were working. And I just noticed something a little odd. It was a younger woman. She wasn't elderly. She was probably in her early 20s, if that, maybe late teens. And it just looked like she wasn't quite stable. Like she wasn't quite right. Physically stable. Yes. So I made a mental note of it, and then they went to the
Counter?
Thank you. The cold. Thank you. She went to the counter, and they started coming back. She had some coffee in her hand or whatever, and all of a sudden she fell onto the floor, like just out of nowhere. And again, that situation occurred where I just jumped up. Nobody else actually in the whole darn place did. And I run over there, and I'm like, it looked almost like she could perhaps have had some kind of a seizure of some kind. And she was on the floor and kind of like just moving around. And ultimately what they said, no, the mother was shaken. It was her mom.
Yeah.
We don't need 911. She's okay. She said, can you help me get her to the car? Because the mother was not physically able to lift her grown daughter. Right. So I did. And come to find out, this young woman, as she was, I didn't know if there was something physically going on. I didn't know if she was drunk. I didn't know what exactly was happening. Well, come to find out, as I am helping this young woman to the car, her mom told me that she had just gotten her wisdom teeth removed.
Oh, no.
So she was under some
sedation.
Yes.
They probably should not have gone in. They should have found a drive-through.
She demanded that they come here, and she told her mom that she was fine, and they come, and she was not fine. She just fell into a pool on the ground.
Oh, no.
So I felt comfortable then, of course, getting her to her car, as opposed to calling 911 and, all of the things that were rushing into my head. But I will tell you that adrenaline, immediately just starts,
it kicks in.
It does. So I had to take her sloshy, toothless daughter back to her car.
Oh, no.
And ironically, this young woman, she's actually a person who worked at the coffee shop.
Oh.
So every time after that, I would see her working, and she did not have any recollection at all of what had transpired. No. But I was traumatized.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It was.
But you also know that she, ultimately was okay.
Yes.
Because you see her behind the counter.
She absolutely was fine. But in that moment, it was all of these things come rushing in, and you just get up and you just do it. It isn't even I wonder if I should go help. It's not that kind of thing. You just do. It's odd. It isn't a thought process sometimes to say, should I help? Shouldn't I help?
I don't know that everybody has that, though.
Oh.
I really don't. I will sometimes hold back a little bit.
Oh.
Even what happened yesterday. You were there. I mean, you saw it before me too. I was holding the door and had my back turned.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't go in there, but I didn't get in there in the same way you did.
Yeah.
There was a time Sarah and I were traveling, and there was a young woman. So we'd gone in line to get some French fries in between flights, and we had a very, very short window of time, but we were hungry, and so we thought, well, we just need some fries just to get us, to just get us home.
Yeah.
And so we're in line, and there's a couple of people ahead of us. There's this young woman who is not looking so good.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you were saying. Like you can tell there was something not right. I didn't know if her blood sugar had dropped. I don't know anything about this woman. She's a stranger. But I can see she looks really pale. She's shaky. She's looking like she maybe can't stand up on her own. She's leaning on the counter really heavily. And so I said to her, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, "Well, you don't look fine. Are you sure? Can we get you something? Some waters? Do you want to sit down?" She said, "I could use a chair." And someone else heard her say that and pushed a chair over for her. So she sat down, and she still didn't look good. I said, so then I did say to someone who was working behind the counter, "Could we get her some water? She's not okay. Can we just get her some water?" So they brought her over some water, and she kind of it was a bottle of water, put it like on her head.
Uh-huh.
So I think she's also too hot.
Yeah.
And then she stood up and went to stand over by the wall, and it was a tiled wall. And all of a sudden she just like slides down the wall. I said, "This is not okay." And there were other people there too.
Yeah.
So while I was involved, I didn't rush over to her. I said, "Seriously, somebody needs to call. We're in an
Something's
airport.
going on.
There has to be
Right.
some medical people here. Like I know you have the little cart with,
Right.
the Red Cross on it. Call somebody."
Right.
I don't know who you call in the airport. Is it 911? I don't even know.
Right.
But I imagine the people who work there know.
They should.
Right. So in the end, we had to leave because our flight was boarding.
Yeah.
And we didn't get the fries, and we didn't get to see how that ended. But there were other people who were attending to her as well. So, but I mean, this was a crowded restaurant. The line was long. Not everybody rushed over.
I know. That was the experience that I had at the coffee shop too. Like, okay, folks, I'm the only one coming over here.
Yeah.
Like, this is not concerning to anybody. That's this young woman, not elderly, didn't trip. Like,
Right.
She just collapsed in the middle of the floor, and y'all are like
Just looking at her.
honking on your egg sandwich and drinking your cup of Java. Come on. Like, what the fuck?
Honking on
No,
your egg sandwich.
I have a cold. Words do not come well. Words.
That was funny.
Honking away.
That was funny.
You don't honk egg sandwiches? Come on. By the way, this weekend has taken us to a whole new level. We've been very, very close for coming up on 10 years.
Yeah.
But really having 4 days of...
We've never had 4 days alone
haven't.
together.
No. Like, we have cracked a new level.
We have. We've never even gone away for a weekend together, just the two of us.
No.
We've had couples weekends. We've gone places where, your house, my house, whatever. But
Right.
we've never gone away for a weekend, just the two of us. So
No.
much less for a long weekend.
I'm a little afraid.
For what?
Honestly. Well, what this has done. I don't know what's part of this new level. Like,
How much of this might stick?
right. Like, this is a little concerning, I'll be honest. I piss myself enough on my own. Like, I do not need support from you in that. No. I peed myself more this weekend than I think my whole entire life. Including infanthood. Well, I just did it again.
We stopped to get a little something to eat on our way home, and we were talking about how we've laughed so hard this weekend. Not only, laugh so hard you pee yourself, but laugh so hard that your stomach hurts from laughing, like your stomach muscles.
Right.
We should have abs of steel by the time we get home.
Well, we stopped for ice cream, so whatever ab we had, that half a ab that was thinking about it, that sunk back in.
That is true. I was trying to be a little more discreet than that, Lisa.
We went for ice cream.
We stopped for something to eat. That's what I said.
And I ordered a slow-moving vehicle, which is exactly what I feel like now.
Way to out us, Lisa.
It's a gift, Tammy.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I see that. And to be fair, we didn't eat the whole thing.
No,
we didn't eat all of our ice cream. Okay.
Well, the ironic part is that we were talking about the commitment that we made this weekend to
ourselves.
Yeah, to ourselves, and we both committed to it, which I think is really awesome. Mm-hmm. To really
a new nutrition program.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
words.
Yeah, and that is a gift to ourselves because. And honestly, we had already been talking about this.
Yes.
This is not something new, but we talked about how seeing that elderly woman miss that step.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be old to do that,
no,
right?
No.
You can, I've done it in my own house, right? And I go up and down those stairs every day, and I still sometimes miss a step. But when you get to be a little bit older and you realize that what you used to be able to do easily is now no longer easy. And whether that's because you've gained weight or it's because you just are getting older and your muscle mass is decreasing.
Right.
If you don't catch it and do something about it, pretty soon you can't get it back.
Far.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And that particular woman, she was not overweight at all.
She was thin.
She was very thin, right. Almost frail looking, really.
She was. She looked like she could be weak. Right.
And so even if she had not missed the step, I think just getting herself up that one step, it was one step.
Yes.
That probably wasn't an easy task for her.
No.
And I mean, we're not 80.
Right.
And we have no idea how old that woman was. I would have
enough.
guessed she was roughly 80.
Yeah.
But if you don't start now, it just keeps getting worse.
It
and
does.
We're at that point where we are recognizing it's getting worse.
Yes.
The weight keeps going up and the strength keeps going down. So
that
we decided
was a gift.
It was
for us.
Kind of.
That sounds a little weird.
We don't want that to be us too soon.
Right.
If we're lucky, we get to a point where.
Right.
Right. I mean, getting older. Not everybody gets to do that. So,
right.
And certain things do generally come with getting older, but I don't want that to be when I'm 55.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. I would like to be able to catch myself if I fall.
Right.
Right. So we decided to commit to a nutrition program and counting macros, and we thought it would be really fun to count how many macros are in ice cream before we actually have to start this program.
Right. It literally happened while we were conversing about it. So you want to stop and get ice cream then? I mean, sure, since we haven't started yet.
How many macros do you think are in an ice cream?
We don't want to know.
Protein, how many do you think are in that?
No, we're not talking about that. It's called slow-moving vehicle for a reason.
Well, there are so many things I want to say about that. Wagons and tractors come to mind.
Right? Yeah. Flashing lights.
Yes. Oh, well. So yeah, that kind of is wrapping up our weekend and starting season 3.
Yes. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. For sure. So Mary will be back with our book club.
Yes.
She's on a hiatus right now, that lucky duck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's on vacation. She went to Portugal.
That's right.
Yeah, she's having a blast.
She's doing some soul searching on her own.
She is. She's been sending us pictures, so we know she's okay and having a good time, or just, still alive. So, right?
Yeah.
We said, just check in. We just want to make sure that you
got there.
You're okay. Yeah. So yeah, she said that
she's wild woman.
She is a wild woman.
Really?
I know. She looks just like such a sweet young woman, but man, you just look at her sideways and she is
you scratch
wild.
The surface. You learn a whole bunch about Mary.
Yeah, for sure. So she is doing soul searching, and sounds like exploring and crying and learning things and enjoying the beach and relaxing and doing all sorts of good stuff. So we're excited for her to come back and tell us some fun things, or even just things that she learned. And then we'll dig into the book at the end of the season. So we'll have a snack or two shortly so that we get the right name of the book and the right author so that you can follow along if you choose to do that. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that's about it then, huh?
I'm
now?
Good. I'm good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. We've got Enneagram coming up next.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun. Different in a different way. It's with somebody new, and so it's not it's digging a little bit deeper.
As always.
but not like Jen Sincero deep.
No, not like that. Not like that. Like Lisa and Tammy deep.
Yeah. Right. So, all right. Till next time then.
All right. Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.